Hey everybody, Black Ninja 797 here, and welcome back to another video. And today's video, what I want to talk about is my wants for the next-gen consoles, this being the Xbox Series X and then also the PS5, the two main titans of the gaming market. I mean, I know there's a lot of, other gaming choices, like there's PCs, there's also the Switch that only came out a while ago, but Xbox and PS4 are like the main two, so I wanted to talk about that here today. And I feel like these are very reasonable wants, so I hope that we can see these sometime, in the relative future, like, early on, like with the consoles, maybe even a little bit after launch. But I would love to see these just be straight off the rip, because these are needed for especially some of the platforms, in particular Xbox. So yeah, let's begin with the actual commentary. So the very first thing, and this is just going to be just something obviously that we all want, is crossplay. But I don't mean crossplay like on certain games, I mean crossplay on everything. It is long overdue. It's been needed for such a long time. There's so many games where their player base just dies, and if crossplay was in the game, it would help out a lot for the game. And I really think that they should do this for all of the next-gen console games, just so that way games don't die, they don't have trouble connecting to lobbies, your ping won't be horrible. It will just overall make the games more fun and stuff like that. And I feel like that the only thing stopping them from doing it is Sony, because Sony was the one that didn't want it in the first place originally. But now we're starting to finally ease everyone into it, which is nice. So that's honestly one of the things I would love to see. The next thing is no more exclusives. For the love of God, can we stop the exclusives? Like Halo and Gears of War being only on Xbox, and then also like things like Until Dawn or The Last of Us, like these campaign-based games that are really cool being only on the PlayStation. Like, why do we have so many exclusives? It's very annoying, and it makes it that way you literally have to spend another like 300, sometimes 500 if the console's brand new, for a whole new console just to get a single game. That's ridiculous. I shouldn't have to spend $300 to $500 to get a new console just to get the game. That is absurd. And especially annoying when there's not only console or a system exclusive, but they never ever pour it over at all. Like, for example, one of the things I'm happy about that they fixed was Titanfall, because Titanfall originally was an Xbox exclusive, and then Titanfall 2 came out and it was available on the PlayStation 4, which is really nice, so I'm glad that they changed that. It's just unnecessary at this point, and I feel like they'd be much better off. Another thing I would love to see is fast boot up times and shut off times, and also updates. Like, the fact that these consoles are still struggling to push out an update or boot up sometimes is like absurd. And also just in general, like the fact that sometimes when it sounds like that they're turning on, it sounds like that there is a jet engine taking off. Like, if we can have much more smooth and quieter and more precise, boot ups and updates and stuff like that for the console, that would be very much appreciated. I almost feel like that updates are going way too slow for some of these games. I'm glad it's not like Xbox 360 where you get kicked off online. You guys remember that when you used to be on the Xbox 360, and if you updated a game, you would be kicked off of Xbox Live, and you'd just be in the middle talking to your friends and be like, okay guys, I'll be back in, and then just cut off. It would be really funny. But yeah, no more of that. Like, can we just update, relatively quicker, please, and also just have it where it's not pure chaos? It'd be much better. Another thing is privacy policies need to be updated. This is especially needed on Xbox. I don't know if this logic applies to the PlayStation because I don't own any Sony consoles. It's the only console I don't own. But Xbox specifically as well. You guys really gotta update the privacy policy. The fact that the Xbox One has such a very lenient privacy policy is very ridiculous in my opinion. Like, for example, you could be adding someone on Xbox and they're not even your friend, and you can still see every single little thing that they do. Like, I have a follower system on my account where if somebody just wants to be my friend, they can send me a friend request, and even if I don't accept the friend request, they can see when I get online, they can see what game I'm playing, they can join my session in progress, which is really annoying, especially if they're being a dickhead or a troll. Like, there should be literally no reason why they can do this if they're not on my friends list. Why is that? If they want to, they can just all do all these things. It's absurd. It's annoying. Like, I should have to add them back for them to do even any remotely close to this stuff. Like, I don't want to have to necessarily like go offline every single time I boot up my console just to hide from random people. It's annoying because like we all have it where even we're not necessarily the most popular kid in the block, we all have that one guy that always joins our session in progress and just annoys us, so we shouldn't have to stay offline to avoid them. So that's just one of the things I would just love to see them fix. It's just really annoying when that's the case. That's a big one for me. The next thing is voice through speakers option. This is great if you're a YouTuber, because if you have voice through speakers, you don't have to worry about recording, with a third party, cable or anything. Back when the Xbox One first came out, you could not record voice chat at all. In fact, you actually couldn't record it for like so many years. I think it was like the first year and a half that you could not record it on the Xbox One. So a lot of people just go back to the 360 because they had normal voice through speakers. And even to this day, several years later, in fact, well, let me see, when the Xbox One came out. Xbox One came out in 2013, we're in 2020. It's been 7 years, and you still, to this day, cannot record game chat, voice through speakers on Xbox unless you have a chat cable, like the Elgato chat link cable, for example. You still, to this day, cannot record it without a third-party emulator. It is ridiculous. And so I would love to just be able to record game chat nonchalantly, no problem, and just be able to go at it. I don't want to have to necessarily pile all these wires together just to be able to get a video going. It's annoying, it's unnecessary, it's just absurd. Please fix that, both of you. That goes for you, PlayStation, because I'm not going to just give Xbox all the crap. Like, make sure if you're doing it already, good, but if not, then you change your ways. So, like, it's getting very annoying really fast on Xbox. Another thing is a more friendly interface. I really did not like the Xbox One interface for a while. I'm giving a lot of crap to Xbox because I feel like the Xbox One was the weaker out of the two consoles. I feel like the 360 was better than the PS3, and the Xbox One was worse than the PS4. But the UI on the Xbox and also the PlayStation honestly could be a lot better. I've seen the PlayStation UI, and I just feel like they could be easily better. You should just be able to load up the Xbox or load up the PlayStation, turn it on, it takes you to the dashboard, and everything on the dashboard is all the essentials, and then everything else that's non-essential just gets pushed to the side. So for example, essentials would be you see what game that you recently played / want to play, like where your disc tray would go. You end up seeing your friends list maybe. You get to see, I guess, that if they're probably going to do it. I'm only saying this because I think they're going to do it, but you remember how on the Xbox 360 they used to have ads? Well, that's still on the next-gen consoles, but it's just much more subtle. Like, the Xbox One in the corner will have an ad. If they have to have an ad, make it subtle, not, like, just blatantly, like, in the front of the screen, because that's really annoying when they do that. I would also love to see maybe, like, your recent history, like, your apps, such as your music apps, your YouTube, stuff like that. That would be a lot more reasonable instead of just having ad or, unnecessary feature here. I would just love to see that. Another thing is more customization for your profile. This way, if anybody is smurfing on, an account, or if somebody's, like, let's say, trying to pretend to be somebody else, it's much easier to detect it. Because it's annoying when, like, let's say you're playing a game, right? And you're playing in a lobby and somebody is obviously a smurf. It'd be nice if you could go to their account and be able to, like, see their, like, playtime on the game through their account. Not necessarily on their, combat record, because I feel like that's, what the reason why they're having trouble trying to discover it, is that if you look at their overall account, you could see if they've reset their stats, if they played this game on another account before. Like, it'd be nice to be able to see that, because just having smurfs in your lobby is annoying as hell, and it'd be nice to see that, because with skill-based matchmaking being a lot of these games, people have resorted to things such as reverse boosting or smurfing to try to avoid that. So if you could see, like, this account has played also on this account before, and this is that, skill tree that they're in, and this is how much they played on that account. It's just like, oh, that's nice to see. So the guy that I've been playing, like, let's say, Overwatch competitive is also a top 500 secretly, even though he's in my bronze lobby. Or I'm playing in Modern Warfare, and this guy's jump shotting, duck shotting, drop shotting, and everything. He's a level 1. Oh, I wonder where that came from. Like, it just being very nice to see that. Another thing is being able to have multiple windows open at once. I would like to have it where if I'm on my console of choice and I'm playing a game and I really quickly want to check, like, let's say something on Twitter, I should be able to go to Twitter, click on Twitter, read the tweet or something like that real quick, and then be able to go back over to the game without having to crash the game because I was AFK for a few seconds. Like, just because I opened up a different window does not mean that I'm going to be quitting the game altogether. I understand that people could easily get distracted and it could ruin games, so maybe have, like, the timer be like a minute or two, just so it's not overkill. But it's just very annoying when, like, I'm trying to, like, check something else out on my Xbox and I have to do it through my phone or something like that because I'm worried my game is just going to crash. Another thing would be customizable profiles being more detailed. I know I already kind of elaborated on this, but let me elaborate on some more. Some things I would like to see is more like colors for the background, or being able to put like PNGs, whatever you want, on your profile picture and on the background. So like, for example, being able to make custom emblems, being able to make custom profile pictures, Xbox backgrounds, PlayStation backgrounds. Maybe have like a soundtrack, so like when you load up your console, like plays a music track. That'd be very, very cool. That's like the MySpace territory, but that's just something I think would be kind of cool. Certain apps and features not being available being added on to the next generation. So for example, Discord. I would love to see like Discord, because it's like the main gaming app of choice, being on there. That'd be very, very nice. One other thing is also controllers being much, much better. The Xbox One controller was very, very hard to get used to. You take the 360 controller and put it in someone's hands, they'll probably like it. It's great. It's smooth. It's not clunky. It's great. And then you get to the Xbox One controller, and unless you're using a custom-made controller, a lot of people cannot get used to it. Like, for example, I really do not like the thumbsticks particularly. Like, that's one of my least favorite things about the Xbox One controller. That's why I had to get a custom controller and Control Freaks, is because the thumbsticks were way too small, way too narrow. And now that my hands are bigger, and I have an adult set of hands, it's just hard to maneuver it and be able to control it, and not, like, my thumbs would physically hurt using the original Xbox controller. And then eventually I just got used to it because I, want to play games. But it'd just be so, so nice that they just fix the controllers, make them more reasonable. And the sad thing is, it looks like we're going to get almost the exact same controller. It looks like we're going to get another Xbox One themed looking controller when we looked at the Xbox Series X, which is going to be worrisome. Hopefully with the PlayStation they don't do that either. Hopefully they'll just keep the same controller, because I like the PlayStation 4 controller, or they'll just make it better. But it's kind of funny, this is becoming almost like an Xbox rant, but I'm trying for it not to be. It's just that a lot of my knowledge comes from Xbox, because I don't know too much about PlayStation. Another thing is that I want PlayStation, this is a big thing for them, to have backwards compatibility. Xbox is going to have this, so it's not necessarily a worry for me, but for PlayStation, I want this to be a thing. Xbox Series X is going to have Xbox One games, Xbox 360 games, and the original Xbox games all being backwards compatible. The PlayStation 4 still cannot, to this day, get a reasonable amount of backwards compatibility. They have to do it through like an emulator, and so like you can't do things such as like Black Ops 2, for example, to this day, which is very annoying. I don't understand why they can't do that. Hopefully they can fix that, just because it'd be so much more nice to be able just to rotate between your old games and your new games without having to buy another console each and every time. Because like things like a PC, you literally buy it once and then you're good, and then you're just fine forever. Like a PC is a one-time deal. That's why a lot of the things on Xbox and the PlayStation, when the game switches over to the next-gen console or the next sequel comes out, the game's player base usually tends to die, which would be, sad, and I'm hoping that they can fix that. It's just much, much more convenient that way. Unlimited name changing is also another big one for me. I don't have an issue necessarily where I can't make my gamer tag, a certain thing. It's not like I, have it where a lot of people are trying to copy my name. But it's annoying how that you have to pay each and every time you want to change your name. Why is it that that's the case? I understand they're trying to make money, but if I get a crappy default gamer tag, right? And like, let's say I want to change it, I shouldn't have to waste that one free change. I should be able to, change it a limited amount, or at least as much as I want. Like, it shouldn't only just be once. That, I feel like, is a little bit ridiculous. I personally just want to see that. And another thing, and this is the last main three, I'm just going to kind of plot through them all and, like, put them together at once, is that I want gamer score, I want, like, achievements / trophies, depending on whether you're talking about PlayStation or Xbox. I want them to give you more gamer score and almost mean something again. I remember, like, back in the 360, I would always achievement hunt. And now, most games, their achievements are kind of bland or stupid. And I would just love for that to be, not the case anymore. I would like it to actually be like, oh, hey, there's this really cool achievement. It's just like, beat all the campaigns, on Expert, or, use every single gun in this game mode, something like that. And you get, like, a decent amount of gamer score, because I like the thrill seek, like that accomplishment, that little boost, and it's just nice to see that. Another thing I would like to see is the Xbox / PlayStation recording and live streaming systems being amplified or improved. I would actually love to see abilities to be able to full-on live stream and record on these next-gen consoles as much as possible. Almost basically making them like a capture card. because there's so many people that want to do YouTube, so many people that want to do Twitch, and they can't because they can't afford to cough up extra money when they just spent that all on another giant new console purchase. Because they want to get their games, they got to get the headset, then they also got to get the controller, then they also got to get the, you know, it's just like a big mess. So a lot of people can't fork over that extra few $100 to get a Elgato and also a, you know, editing software and all that stuff. So if they could have almost like a built-in recording software and live streaming software that had like 1080p, 60 FPS, and like it didn't cap off after like 10 minutes or something like that, and they had like almost like another makeshift in-game software so you could cut out things or crop them together, maybe add a sound effect or have like spinning things, like, you know, like a little corny intro or something like that. That'd be just very nice. I know they're trying to work on that, but I really feel like it could be improved, because I mean, like, you could do that with most cell phones nowadays. It's just kind of ridiculous. I would just love to really see that. I think that'd be a lot more fun than just kind of just hitting Xbox record that, and then you get this kind of like 30-second clip that doesn't necessarily even work all the time, and just have it be stuttery and laggy and all that stuff. So that's just kind of annoying. But at the end of the day, this is just a theory on kind of like what I think that they're going to add, slash what I would like to see them add. I have a feeling they're going to implement some of the stuff, no doubt in my mind, but I am also hoping that they'll add some of the other stuff that I'm a little bit more hesitant about, because I feel like they're not going to necessarily do all these things. So I hope you guys, you know, like my list. I hope you guys agree with me so that way we can have these features be implemented. Let me know what you think about them in the comment section down below, and if you agree with my points, make sure you leave a like and subscribe. And, yep, that's pretty much it for today's video, guys. I hope you ended up enjoying. Just once again, if you enjoyed me, make sure you leave a like, comment, subscribe, and all that good stuff. That way you show support to me, and then that way I can, you know to make more videos like this. But, Xbox and PlayStation, hopefully your guys' new consoles are good, and, just please don't screw it up. I really don't want to have to play on the last gen console for an extra 3 years because you guys can't get things sorted out. Like, I remember I was on the Xbox 360 for an extra 3 years because not only could I not afford it, but I just was not interested. But anyways, guys, hope you have a good one. I'll see you later. Just let's pray to God these next gen consoles don't suck.